Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. It is specially dedicated to the study of English literature. Today I am going to talk on what is literature. Before I begin my talk, I request you to subscribe to this channel so you can receive notifications of my upcoming videos. Let's begin our talk. The question, what is literature, has perplexed many thinkers because of the transformed nature of literature in the recent times. In spite of such condition, many scholars have given different definitions of literature, but these definitions cannot be taken as final. Everyone has his or her own definition of literature based on his or her own understanding of it. Collins English Dictionary defines literature as a written material such as poetry, novels, essays, etc., especially works of imagination characterized by excellences of style and expression and by themes of general or enduring interest. The word literature has been derived from the Latin word literatura, which means writing. Broadly speaking, the term literature is used to describe anything from creative writing to more technical or scientific works, but in a true sense, the term is mostly used for the creative imagination, including works of poetry, drama, fiction, and non-fiction. But the term is not confined only to published works. It also encompasses what is called oral literature. It is a universally accepted fact that literature is a reflection of our lives. Literature, in its most comprehensive meaning, includes all the activities of human soul in general, within particular sphere, period, country, or a language. Literature is that form of writing which arouses our feelings of the beautiful by the perfection of form or excellence of ideas, or by both. Literature is divided into four major classes, namely poetry, prose, fiction, and non-fiction. It is also divided according to historical periods, genres, and political influences. The important historical periods in English literature are Old English period, the Renaissance period, Middle English period, Shakespearean and Elizabethan period, Restoration period, Victorian period, and modern period. There are also many important movements of philosophies and ideologies in English literature, such as Romanticism, Feminism, Post-colonialism, Post-structuralism, Postmodernism, Psychoanalysis, Marxism, among others, etc. All these periods, movements, and different ideologies tried and are still trying to define literature in their own terms. The scope of literature is very wide. It covers everything that is on the earth. Literature has the capacity to incorporate within itself the entire universe. In fact, the scope of literature is everything that can come into the human mind. It includes everything from mathematics to philosophy and to the other intricate sciences. Since literature reflects life, so the scope of literature covers the whole life of man. Literature can be best understood in the context of what Leo Tolstoy, the Russian writer, said about literature. He said that literature fails if it cannot answer the two fundamental questions: who we are and how shall we live. If literature does not teach us how to live and does not tell our identity as human beings, then it is something else, not literature in a true sense. Tolstoy's this statement defines literature, tells us about the function and aim of literature as well as its scope. Tolstoy believes that these two questions drive all literature and should be guiding principles upon which all literature is based. It is a frequently asked question, why should we study literature? In this modern age when man has conquered the moon, is it proper to live in the world of imagination? What is the use of studying literature while there are a lot of other things to know and study which are based on reality and which can benefit the whole society of the world? Isn't it the wastage of time and energy to read a poem, a novel, short stories, or dramas in this age of science and technology? In fact, literature is the reflection of social and political life of the age in which it is produced. It represents the life of its age. So literature is a kind of document that contains the social as well as political history of its time. By studying literature of any age, we come to know about the culture, tradition, habits, and customs of the people of that particular age. If we read Chaucer's poetry, we come to know about the people of the 14th century. When we study Shakespeare, we are acquainted with the culture, custom, habits, and fashion of the people of the Elizabethan period. When we read Congreve's plays, we get knowledge of the aristocratic society of the 17th century London. If we read the novels written in the 18th century, we find the description of the people of 18th century. Same is with the modern literature. It drives us to say that literature is a kind of historical document which contains the true information about the age and the society in which it is written. Thus, literature provides us not only pleasure and enjoyment but also factual information of a particular age and its society. The second utility of studying literature is that it introduces ourselves to us. When we study literature, we come to know ourselves, which is a kind of self-revelation. We come to know our mistakes in life, and so we can make amendments accordingly. The study of literature makes a man sober and gentle and teaches us the art of living. Literature helps us understand ourselves and the purpose of our life in this world. Thus, it is evident that study of literature is vital to understand ourselves. The third point is that literature is a means of communication. It communicates through characters, stories, essays, poetry, and fiction. It is an art. Not all people can reach up to it. It is as special as science is by itself. As has been pointed above, literature is a reflection of contemporary life. Literature contains everything in it: the thoughts, joy, happiness, pain of the people. The ideals of history, science, or the society are also glorified through literature. Literature is a world in itself as it encompasses everything in its range. The language also attains its ultimate through literature. Therefore, before making a study of mankind, we should go through the literature it has created. This discussion can be concluded with the following quotation of William J. Long: literature is the expression of life in words, of truth and beauty. It is the written record of man's spirit, of his thoughts, emotions, aspirations. It is the history and the only history of the human soul. It is characterized by its artistic, its suggestive, and its permanent qualities. Its two tests are its universal interest and its personal style. Its object, aside from the delight it gives, is to know man, that is, the soul of man, rather than his actions. And since it preserves to the race the ideals upon which all our civilization is founded, it is one of the most important and delightful subjects that can occupy the human mind. Dear friends, this was what is literature, and I have tried to give as much as possible. Thank you very much.